Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. So glad you've joined me today. What a wonderful day to study the Psalms. Come on in here to the Bible Bistro with me. Let that screen door slam shut behind you. Grab yourself something hot or cold to drink. I have mine right here. And let's study the Psalms together. Open your Bible up. We're studying Psalm 105. We started last week with verses 1 through 24. We saw that this is a psalm that I've entitled Remember, because David the psalmist wants us to remember all that the Lord has done. And really, what a wonderful psalm for us to study in advance of our Thanksgiving. We want to give thanks to the Lord. Now, I'm talking to the American audience, because in America, we are going to be celebrating Thanksgiving coming up this month. So what a wonderful psalm to kind of prep us for that. Because as we think about all that God has done, what does it do? What's the point of remembering? Well, one of the points of remembering is to generate thankfulness. Another point of remembering is to generate faithfulness. We remember what those before us have done, or what the Lord has done for us, and it generates faithfulness and strengthens our believing. So to do this is a grand exercise for your faith, is to remember all that God has done. And what a wonderful place to begin, right here in the Psalms, remembering God's work in the Exodus story. Now, you can go back and read it for yourself, and that's part of what I'm doing, is I'm reminding us of where these events land in the history of the people of Israel. And we go back to, for example, the book of Exodus. This week and next, we're going to be looking at, this week, today and tomorrow, we're going to be looking at the events there in Exodus chapter 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So we'll see, and 14, and we'll keep going. Also, as we begin today, we're going to read verses 29 through 32. I also want you to put your thumb in Psalm 78, because in Psalm 78, there's also a recitation of God's signs in Egypt, and just a reminder that, he uses it not just here, but in other places. And I'll be making reference to Psalm 78 as we go along. So let me read 29 through 32, Psalm 105. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their kings. He spake, and there came divers sorts of flies and lice in all their coasts. He gave them hail for rain and flaming fire in their land. Now that's verses 29 through 32. And again, if you see this, you recognize these are the plagues, the signs that God did in Egypt to bring the people out of Egypt. He turned their waters into blood. One of the very first signs, it wasn't the first one, it was the second one actually. The first sign was the staff became a serpent and swallowed up all the other serpents that the magicians made. And then he turned water into blood, the water of the Nile, and all the fresh water was turned into blood. He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. So that's Exodus chapter 7, verses 20 and 21. Also, you find that in Psalm 78, verse 44. Their land brought forth frogs in abundance in the chambers of their kings. That's Exodus chapter 8, verse 3. And he spake, and there came divers sorts of flies and lice in all their coasts. That's Exodus chapter 8, 24 and 16. So again, you see, he doesn't quite follow the order that's given in Exodus. You can also find the frogs and the flies in Psalm 78, verse 45. He gave hail for rain and flaming fire in their land. That's Exodus chapter 9, verse 24. Now, you'll recall that the hail and the fire, those two came together. The hail fell from the sky, and it was on fire, and when it hit the ground, the fire ran along the ground, something that had never been seen before. And it was a hail that had never been seen. The likes of that had never been seen in Egypt up to that time. The hail was so big. Now, tomorrow we're going to look at verse 33. He smote their vines also and their fig trees and brake the trees of their coasts. He did that in the hail. And all of that is recorded in Psalm 78, verses 47 and 48. All right, so we're remembering now all that God has done. And why did he do it? He did it for his own glory, to release his people, to bless them, and to give them an inheritance. So remember that and give thanks for all that the Lord has done for you. And well, join me tomorrow. We're going to look at 33 through 36 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.